So briefly, while I'm on here, I wanted to discuss something a little separate. Someone asked me to look at Priscilla Presley, and it's really weird because I was going to do it. And then I was laying with my cat after work, and I started listening to Sidebar, and they were talking about Priscilla Presley, basically about the plaintiffs alleged that Priscilla put undue financial pressure on Elvis in 1977, including claims about large liens and exploitation of the Presley name in later deals. Okay, so Priscilla calls the claims crazy, untrue, but the former business partners say that she owes them money and that it all is true. I think the man that's going after her, his name is Cruz or something. Anyways, go to Sidebar and just look up Priscilla Presley or Elvis and you'll find it there. That's where I got my information. And so it was just a brief little program, and I was like, okay. So when I tried to get into his energy, well, Priscilla's energy first, I couldn't get anything. It went right to Elvis. And it's really weird because I went to a consignment shop a couple of weeks ago, and I picked up this little Elvis Presley figurine. I don't know why. It's not something I would buy in the norm, but it was like $1. So I was like, oh, I could make something out of this, like a craft or something. Anyways, when I looked at Elvis, I kept being shown these chains. And I don't mean chains made out of iron, but rather paper chains. And the way I translate that is documents, liens, or going to court, lawyer fees, money, obligations, contracts. But it was just so many paper chains, like hung on rafters. And he would have to sign each one of these paper chains, right? It was really weird how it was being shown to me. But it felt to be negative, and it felt to be in regards to a divorce, which would be Priscilla. And every time he would have to go to court, it felt like, or to sign documentations, it felt like he was adding another link to that chain, right? And I don't see where she did anything to him indirectly or directly causing him to have a heart attack. But her going after him the way she did not help matters, because he had his own demons he was dealing with pills and whatnot, and alcohol. It's almost like Elvis felt trapped inside his appearances, but outside everyone saw him as being the king of rock and roll, right? The paper chains to me whisper financial demands regarding Priscilla Presley. And, you know, he did love her, but she is not the one he was actually really in love with. He keeps showing me a blonder haired woman. Well, she's got lighter hair. That was his soulmate. That was the woman he really loved. I don't know her name. I'm just seeing someone with lighter blonde hair that comes through. She's no longer here, I don't think, either in the living. But as Elvis is hanging up these chains, it's almost like physically he's in disbelief. Like he can't, okay, I'm going to tell you exactly how it was given to me. He's like, I knew she was a cunt, but I didn't know she was that big of a fucking cunt. And actually, there were some other derogatory words that were mentioned in the reading that was getting, he just discussed it with her in the end. Yeah, he loved her, but she wasn't the main one. There was someone else right before their divorce or right after their divorce that he fell in love with, and now he realizes was his soulmate, his companion. He says if he could have stayed in the living, you know, he would have had more children, and it would have been with her. But yeah, he's like, I knew you were a CUNT before, but you're much bigger than what I thought. And he does hold her responsible for his daughter's passing. You have to understand, Lisa Marie Presley and him, they both had the same type of heart condition, but it was under different circumstances. I wrote down the heart condition. I want to say it's pronounced cardiomyopathy. Cardiomyopathy. Okay, I believe. Because in his autopsy, it says he died of heart strain. And that's true. I believe that. But I mean, stress definitely did cause it. I don't think that Priscilla is going to be held responsible for Elvis, but I do see some legal problems coming up in regards to her pulling the plug on her daughter less than 24 hours. And I'm seeing another man. I don't know who this other guy is, but he's younger than Priscilla, but it's a family member. I don't know if did she have any more kids? Or maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I thought she only had Priscilla. She had stepkids or something, I don't know. But there's this man coming through, and I'm not saying he did it, but he was telling her what to do. And she seemed very close to this younger male energy, and it was about money, to be honest. Deep down inside, it was the root of all evil. It was money. It was. And Elvis would like to see her be held accountable for pulling the plug, because my feeling in this is that she had a chance to survive, even though I don't know, I'm not seeing the outcome, but she could have maybe survived. And Lisa Marie Presley, her children, especially her daughter, is very hurt by this, is what I'm seeing. And I do think there's going to be some problems down the road in regards to Priscilla and how she went in there and pulled the plug. Technically, it was up to Lisa's daughter to make that decision, and I think there's going to be a misunderstanding that's going to come out, a huge fuck up, where the mom probably shouldn't have had any say-so in that. So I think that that's what she's going to be held accountable for, is something to do with her daughter. Right now that hasn't really come out, but I think it will come out. I think it will. They start investigating documents and medical documents, and it won't just be the mother, Priscilla, it'll be the hospital. I mean, because she had the plug pulled and her daughter lost her life, technically. I mean, sometimes you're completely brain dead, I get it, but I think in this situation it was a little different because she hadn't been in the hospital that long, less than 24 hours. So there's going to be some legal responsibility in regards to her pulling the plug on her daughter. That I do see. And I do think that there was a man behind that. And there's financial gain. It's all about money. Yeah, she's greedy. Elvis made that clear in the energy, but the way he describes everything is just paper chains, just one adding up to the other, signing his name, Elvis, signing, just money, 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 money. And that's all it was pretty much about in the end. So anyways, that's all I have on that. It was very short, very brief, but couldn't get anything off of Priscilla's energy, really. More Elvis. So thanks for listening.